Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about writing a conclusion paragraph, and it's a little unlike the intro paragraph because the intro paragraph has a few things that need to be there and it needs to be in certain spots. There's a particular order to it. A conclusion paragraph is a lot more open. So let's go ahead and talk about what does need to be there, and then we can talk about some options for what you can do in your conclusion. Okay, first of all, you have to restate the thesis. So start your conclusion by restating your original thesis using different words. It's not just a copy and paste job, so don't just copy your thesis and paste it down into your thesis from your intro and paste it down into your conclusion. You do need to actually reword it, but you do need to restate your thesis. That's the first thing we should see in your conclusion. After that, the goal is just to be insightful. Okay, which sounds a little vague and a little confusing, but what we need to do is give the reader something memorable to walk away with. Okay, some ways that you can do it, and I'm going to talk about both. First of all, answer the question, so what? Okay. The second one is you can return to ideas or themes from the intro paragraph. So let's talk about answering the question of so what. Whenever you make a statement or claim, and that's what your thesis is, you want to ask yourself, so what? Why should anybody care? Okay. Think about why your teacher asked you to write this essay. What's the purpose? I could have given you any number of different topics to write about, but I gave you this one. Okay. What is it that your teacher thinks is so important about this topic? What are you supposed to gain or walk away with? Okay. So what are you supposed to learn from this? Here's an example for this essay. Transcendentalist views may sound harmless and uplifting, but they deviate from God's word. It's important to think deeply about what is read and to evaluate whether it is truth or lies. That way, Christians will not be turned in a direction that leads away from God, or I should have said God's heart, right? So that's the so what. Why is this important? Because we have to be critical about what we read, right? Why is this topic of how do Christians respond to transcendental ideas so important? Because if all we do is just blindly and openly accept every idea that comes our way, then we might be led astray. Okay, and so identifying how would a Christian respond to transcendental ideas helps us to be more discerning in what we are intaking, what ideas and what information we are processing. Another thing you can do in order to be insightful is to return to ideas in the intro. Okay, the idea is to bring the reader full circle. Okay, if you hooked your reader with an anecdote at the very beginning of your essay, you can end with the same scenario in order to help you create new meaning. And that's the important part. You can't, again, just do a copy-paste job from intro to conclusion. You now need to talk about, okay, having talked about all these things in my essay, here's why this is especially appropriate, right? Here's why this story makes even more sense now. Here's why this metaphor makes even more sense now. Okay, so if you guys remember my sample intro, I said, as a Christian, I read transcendentalist works the same way that a dog salivates for chocolate. It looks so good and tantalizing, but many of the ideas are poisonous to my faith. Remember, I started my hook with a metaphor. Transcendentalist ideas empower the individual and appreciate the beauty of nature, which sounds warm and fuzzy. Though transcendentalist ideas seem to make people feel good, that feeling may come at a high cost, dishonoring God. While there are some transcendental ideas that reflect Christian principles, transcendentalism mostly does not align with biblical principles about the depravity of man and the need for government. So, a sample conclusion that goes right along with that intro is this. Transcendentalism simply does not align with biblical values. By the way, that's my restatement of my thesis. Transcendentalist views may sound harmless and uplifting, but they deviate from God's word. It's important to think deeply about what is read and to evaluate whether it is truth or lies. That way, Christians will not be turned in a direction that leads away from God. There, I'm answering the question of, so what? Now, in the same way that a dog cannot swallow the poisonous chocolate, Christians should not swallow transcendental ideas and allow them to poison our faith. So there, I returned back to my original metaphor in my introduction, and I brought my reader full circle. Okay, so a couple strategies that you should avoid in your conclusion. Okay, do not begin with an unnecessary, overused phrase such as all in all, or in conclusion, or in summary, or in closing. Okay, all of those phrases make you sound like you're in fourth grade, and you're not. Okay, you are in high school, so you don't need to make yourself sound like you're in 4th grade. You don't need to tell me as the reader that it's your conclusion paragraph by saying in conclusion. Okay, I know it's your conclusion paragraph because I can visually see that it's the last paragraph on your page. So avoid using those really cliche phrases. Those you learn in elementary school, mostly to help you understand the structure of an essay. You don't need to give your writer that indication. Okay, or your reader, excuse me, that indication, because again, we can visually see where your conclusion is. Okay, so do not use one of those overused phrases. You also should not introduce a new idea or subtopic in your conclusion. Okay, your conclusion is about wrapping it up. Okay, you don't want to include new evidence there either. Again, it's about wrapping it up. It's not about really wowing your reader with extra examples. Okay, it's about wrapping it up. Okay. And that's it. That's conclusion writing. I look forward to reading yours.